In my experience, 8 out of 10 students are making mistakes that are easy to fix if you know these secrets. In this video, I will give you 20 IELTS speaking secrets that will help you achieve a higher band score in IELTS speaking. I have helped thousands of students move from Band 6 to Band 7 plus in speaking, so I know what really works. Trust me, Secret 15 will shock you. Let's get started. Secret 1. How never to run out of things to say. Many students run out of things to say in Part 2, which is the cue card. The secret is to use what I call the expand method. Let's break this down letter by letter. E. Give an example. X. Explain the details. P. Talk about past experiences. A. Anticipate the future. N. Say what it's not like. D. Describe your feelings. Let's look at an example. If you're talking about a book, don't just say, I read Atomic Habits and it was good. Give an example of one technique, explain how you used it, mention how you used to struggle with habits before, talk about habits you want to build next year, say it's not like other boring self-help books, and describe how motivated it made you feel. You see? Plenty to talk about. Secret 2. Use examples to impress the examiner. In Part 3, examples are your best friend. Don't just list ideas, pick one and dive deep with a specific example. Instead of saying important skills include communication, technology, and creativity, stop. Pick communication and say something like, I think communication is the most important skill. Look at Elon Musk. Love him or hate him. His ability to explain complex rocket science in simple terms has been huge for his success. Compared to brilliant scientists who can't get funding because they can't explain their research to regular people. One detailed example beats 3 shallow points every time. Secret 3. Part 1 looks easy, but there's a trap. Part 1 seems super easy, just questions about your home, work, hobbies. But here's the trap. Examiners deliberately ask follow-up questions you haven't prepared for. It goes like this. Examiner, do you like shopping? You. Yes, I do every weekend. Examiner. What's the strangest thing you've ever bought? You. And that's the answer they'll remember. So practice handling unexpected angles on common topics. Don't just prepare what you like about your hometown. Think about what you'd change, what's unusual about it, stuff like that. The next secret is similar to this but different. Secret 4. Don't memorize answers. Okay, first things first. Stop memorizing answers. I know, your friend or classmate got Band 8 with memorized responses, right? Here's the thing. Examiners can spot memorized answers instantly. Think about it this way. If you memorize a perfect answer about your hometown, what happens when the examiner asks, what's the weirdest building in your town? Suddenly you're stuck, right? Examiners score you on your weakest answer, not your best one. It's like being a chef. You're only as good as your worst dish. So instead of memorizing, focus on speaking naturally about things you actually know. Secret 5. Simple ideas win over complex ones. Here's something that might surprise you. The IELTS doesn't actually score you on how complex your ideas are. I see students all the time trying to sound like university professors and then making grammar mistakes because they're thinking too hard. Instead of saying, the multifaceted implications of urbanization create societal paradigm shifts, and then getting confused, just say, when people move to cities, it creates problems like traffic, but also new job opportunities. Simple, clear, and accurate always beats complex and wrong. The examiner wants to understand you, not to be impressed by big words you can't use properly. Secret 6. Project your voice. Many good candidates lose points because they speak too quietly or sound monotone. Imagine you're talking to someone at the back of the room. Project your voice a bit more. And vary your intonation. Let your voice go up and down naturally. If you sound interested in what you're saying, the examiner stays engaged too. Energy is contagious. Secret 7. Relax to improve everything. This might sound obvious, but the more relaxed you are, the better your English becomes. When you're nervous, you make more grammar mistakes, forget words you know, speak unclearly, and pause more often. Before your test, do some deep breathing. Remind yourself, I'm good enough. Focus on communicating, not being perfect. Remember, the examiner wants you to succeed, not fail. Trust me, when you relax, everything else gets easier. Secret 8, use words you actually know. Please stop memorizing Band 9 vocabulary lists. Using impressive words incorrectly sounds worse than using simple words correctly. Don't say, the restaurant was magnanimous with stupendous cuisine. That's wrong and sounds fake. Say, the restaurant was incredibly welcoming. The food was outstanding, especially their seafood pasta. Build on vocabulary you already know. Instead of memorizing perspicacious, expand good to excellent, wonderful, fantastic, brilliant. That's much more natural and useful. Secret 9. Buy time. When you're stuck. When your mind goes blank, don't just sit there in silence. Use these magic phrases to buy thinking time. That's a really interesting question. Let me think about that for a moment. You know, I've never really considered that before. That's quite complex. Even native speakers use these phrases. They make you sound thoughtful, not unprepared. Practice them so they come naturally when you need a few seconds to think. Secret 10. Buy time. When you're stuck. When your mind goes blank, don't just sit there in silence. Use these magic phrases to buy thinking time. That's a really interesting question. Let me think about that for a moment. You know, I've never really considered that before. That's quite complex. Even native speakers use these phrases. They make you sound thoughtful, not unprepared. Practice them so they come naturally when you need a few seconds to think. Secret 11. Steer conversations. Smart candidates guide conversations toward topics they're comfortable with. Use bridge phrases like, that reminds me of. Similar to that, speaking of. Question. Will online shopping replace stores? If you're comfortable with technology, that reminds me of how social media changed communication. Just like people still meet face-to-face despite Facebook. Make connections feel natural and gradually move toward your strengths. Secret 12. The Part 2. Secret nobody tells you. This one's a game changer. You know those bullet points on your cue card? You don't have to talk about all of them. I know, mind-blowing, right? Those bullet points are just suggestions to help you think. Your job is to speak fluently for 2 minutes about the topic, not to check off every single point. So if the topic is about a mobile phone and one bullet point is how long you've had it, but you can't remember exactly when you bought it, just skip it. Talk about where you got it, what you use it for, maybe a funny story about when it broke. Pick what's comfortable and expand on that. During your 1-minute prep time, mentally cross out the hard bullet points and add your own easy ones. Secret 13. Learning process answers. When examiners ask about learning anything, languages, skills, hobbies, there's a magic formula that always impresses them. They want to hear about process, not just results. Use step-by-step approach. Break learning into stages. Use phrases like, first you need to, then you can, finally you're ready to. Give specific examples of small, consistent efforts paying off. Here's a complete example. Learning a language is like building a house. You can't start with the roof, right? You need a solid foundation first. I think people should begin with basic vocabulary and simple grammar, then gradually add more complex structures. The key is patience. Those who aren't patient enough often give up when they hit difficulties. Let's take this example about learning a language. When I was learning English, I started with just 10 words a day. It seemed slow at first, but after 6 months, I had nearly 2,000 words. I also learned from my mistakes. Instead of being embarrassed by errors, I saw them as stepping stones to improvement. This approach works because it shows you understand that real learning is a process. You have personal experience with gradual improvement, and you have a mature attitude toward challenges. Examiners love this kind of thoughtful response. Secret 14. Record yourself. Get your phone out right now. Use real IELTS questions from Cambridge books. Record yourself doing all 3 parts, then listen back. Count your mistakes. Notice where you flow naturally versus where you struggle. This is the fastest way to improve because you hear what the examiner hears. Secret 15. Practice until it's automatic. You can't learn these strategies on Monday and use them on Tuesday's test. Your brain needs time to make them automatic. Start slowly. Take all the time you need. Then gradually speed up through practice. After several weeks, these techniques should feel natural, not forced. That's when you're ready for the real test. Secret 16. Believe you're good enough. Stop thinking I need to impress the examiner. Start thinking I need to communicate clearly. You already have enough English for your target score. You just need to show it naturally. Confidence reduces stress, which improves your grammar, vocabulary recall, pronunciation, and fluency. Trust yourself. Secret 17. Understand the examiner's mind. Examiners aren't trying to trick you. They want to see your genuine English level. They've heard thousands of candidates, so authenticity stands out immediately. They're looking for consistent communication ability, not perfect English. Show them your real personality, use language you're comfortable with, and demonstrate that you can express yourself naturally in English. That's what gets high scores. Secret 18. Part 3 gets harder on purpose. If you're doing well in the test, Part 3 questions get deliberately harder. Don't panic. This actually means you're doing great. The examiner thinks you might deserve band 7 or 8, so they're testing your limits. When you get a super difficult question like, how might you know nothing about AI? Don't just say, I don't know. Try this instead. That's a really interesting question. I don't know much about AI, but if I had to guess, maybe it could create personalized learning for each student, kind of like how Netflix recommends movies based on what you like. You're showing you can think and attempt an answer even on unfamiliar topics. Secret 19. Comparing famous people. Examiners love it when you compare famous people because it shows you can analyze and think critically. Question: is success more about talent or hard work? Don't just pick one. Compare. Well, look at Messi versus Ronaldo. Messi seems naturally gifted. His ball control looks effortless. Ronaldo is famous for his incredible work ethic and dedication. Both are successful but in different ways. This shows you probably need both, but maybe hard work is more important because everyone can control their effort. This kind of analysis really impresses examiners because it shows sophisticated thinking. Secret 20. Cultural comparisons. Smart cultural references add depth to your answers, but always be respectful. In my culture, family bonds are very strong. Unlike some Western countries where young adults move out at 18, Asian families often stay together longer. This creates strong support, but different challenges with independence. Never criticize other cultures. Just explain differences from your experience. It shows global awareness and cultural sensitivity. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the 2 videos I publish weekly. All the best in your preparation.